All right, so welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling social media marketing, figuring out how to stand out in this crazy digital world.
Sounds good.
You know, our listener wants to tell their story effectively, and the source material we're using, it's perfect for that.
Oh, yeah.
Gary Vaynerchuk's Jab, 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 Right Hook, How to Tell Your Story in a Noisy Social World.
Classic. Still so relevant.
Oh, absolutely. Game changer when it came out, right?
Right.
And still offers like super relevant strategies for today's social media world.
Totally.
Like it breaks down the best approaches for 7 major platforms. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Tumblr, Google, plus mine.
I'm buying.
Ah, the good old days.
It really shows you how much the social media landscape has changed, even since this book was published.
Yeah.
But you know what? The core principles, they're still spot on.
Totally agree. It's wild how some platforms blew up while others, FFD, gone.
Right.
But Vaynerchuk's insights, understanding your audience, creating valuable content, timeless.
Yep.
Okay, so let's jump right in. One of his biggest ideas is this whole jabs and right hooks thing.
Right.
Can you break that down for us?
Oh, it's such a clever analogy. He compares social media marketing to boxing, you know?
Okay, yeah.
The jabs, that's the valuable content you deliver consistently for free to your audience.
Right.
So think like how-to videos, entertaining posts, behind-the-scenes peeks,
Okay.
stuff that gives real value, builds trust.
Makes sense.
Then you've got the right hooks. Those are the direct asks. Buy this, sign up here, attend that.
Oh, I see.
You got it.
So it's not like, hey, buy my stuff
Yeah.
from day one. It's
Yeah.
about building that relationship first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's even more important now than ever before.
I bet.
Consumers are just bombarded with ads everywhere, banner blindness, they tune it all out.
Oh, yeah.
But if you deliver those jabs consistently, you show them, hey, I get you. I'm not just here for a quick sale.
Right, right.
So when you do throw that right hook, it lands.
Yeah.
You've earned that ask.
Makes sense. It makes you think about those brands that just kill it on social media.
Right.
They're not always pushing products. They're sharing stories, making you laugh, starting conversation.
Okay.
And then when they do promote something, it feels, I don't know, natural, not forced.
Absolutely. And, you know, another takeaway that really hit home for me, Vaynerchuk's point that social media, it's not just about platforms anymore. It's a layer. You need to integrate it into everything you do, all your marketing.
So it's not just posting on Facebook or tweeting every now and then. It's about like social media amplifying everything.
Yeah, think of it like this. You launch a new product, right?
Okay.
Old school. Press release, done. But why not like a series of behind-the-scenes videos, Instagram, showing the process?
Ooh, that's a good idea. Get people excited before it even launches.
Exactly. Then use Twitter for a Q&A with the designers,
Yeah.
address concerns, answer questions.
It's like you're making it, what's the word, multi-platform. People feel involved.
Exactly. That builds brand loyalty. You're not just selling, you're creating an experience.
Powerful stuff. This kind of leads us to another big concept from the book. And I know you love this one native content.
Oh, yeah.
Vaynerchuk really pushes how important it is for your content to feel like natural on each platform,
It really is.
speaking the platform's language.
It's something so many brands get wrong. They just like repurpose the same stuff across all platforms,
Right.
thinking it's efficient, but it's so ineffective.
Yeah, I see that.
Imagine having the same conversation at a cocktail party, a board meeting, and a rock concert.
Yeah.
You wouldn't, right? You'd change your tone, your language, the energy.
Yeah, totally. You'd get some weird looks if you didn't.
For sure. It's the same with social media. Each platform has its own vibe, its own audience, its own rules.
It's like its own little world.
Exactly. What works on Instagram might totally flop on Twitter.
Right, right.
A long article might be great for LinkedIn, but like completely out of place on TikTok.
Yeah. Vaynerchuk gives some really good examples in the book. He praises Victoria's Secret
Okay.
for their visuals on Facebook, you
Right.
know? Their photos are so dramatic, eye-catching, totally made for a platform that loves visual storytelling.
Oh, for sure. And it's not just about pretty pictures, right?
Yeah.
It's about like the psychology behind what makes visuals work on that platform.
Yeah, yeah.
They know their audience on Facebook wants that aspiration, luxury, fantasy.
So they're not just showing lingerie, they're creating like a feeling, a mood.
Exactly. That's what makes it work.
Makes sense.
And then there's this Subaru ad he talks about. Facebook again.
Okay.
Just a generic stock photo. A car in a driveway.
boring.
So boring, so irrelevant.
Right.
Totally missing the mark. Subaru might have great cars, but that photo, lost in the sea of scrolling.
Right. So you have to really think about each platform's strengths, tailor your content. Can't just throw anything up there.
Nope. You got to be intentional, strategic.
Strategic, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about a tactic that can be super effective if you do it right. And native to the platform, micro content seems like it's everywhere these days.
Right.
What's the deal with that?
So micro content is those little easily digestible pieces of information, perfect for grabbing attention in our crazy fast digital world.
Okay.
Think short videos, eye-catching graphics, quick tips, even just a witty one-liner.
Right.
But it's not just about being short. It has to be relevant, timely, engaging.
It's got to hit the right note at the right time.
Okay, my favorite example, Oreo's Super Bowl tweet. Lights went out during the game, remember?
Oh, yeah, everyone was talking about it.
They nailed it. Tweeted a picture of an Oreo. Caption, "You can still dunk in the dark."
Ah, that's brilliant.
Funny, timely, perfect for their brand.
It just slid right into the conversation. So natural.
Exactly. That's the key. Not forcing it, finding the right entry point, adding value, humor, not being intrusive.
So we've talked big picture. Jabs versus right hooks, social media and everything, the importance of native content. Now, let's get specific.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's start with Facebook.
Okay.
Vaynerchuk really hammers home consistency on Facebook.
Oh, he does. Remember the jabs,
Yeah.
consistent jabbing, key on Facebook. The algorithm loves content that people engage with.
So if you're only posting every once in a while, you're not going to show up.
Exactly. And even when you do post, it has to be strategic. The right type of content. Facebook rewards good stuff, sparks conversations, gets reactions, shares.
Okay, so what does that look like in the real world?
Right.
I know Vaynerchuk talks about a boot company example, using Facebook to connect with their audience.
Oh, yeah, great example. So instead of just product photos, they use engaging, non-salesy content
Right.
to understand their customers, asking questions, favorite fall activity, go-to comfort food on a rainy day.
It's like they're just starting conversations, gathering info about what their audience likes.
Exactly. Increasing their reach naturally, building that connection.
Smart.
Then when they post about a sale or a new product, boom, people see it, they're receptive. That foundation of trust is there.
They've earned it.
Exactly. And don't forget, Facebook is mobile first now.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Vaynerchuk really stresses that. Optimized for mobile.
So think about how it looks on a small screen. Is the text readable? Visuals still good?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you using stories? Creating that immersive mobile experience.
Right, right.
You got it.
Another thing he talks about is sponsored stories on Facebook. What makes those so effective?
So sponsored stories are like ads, but they promote your content to a wider audience.
Okay.
But what's cool is Facebook prioritizes engaging content. If your ad's doing well, you pay less per click
Oh, wow.
than a competitor with a bad ad.
It's like Facebook's rewarding you for good content.
Exactly. Makes sense for them. They want users to see stuff they'll enjoy, not just a bunch of random ads.
Yeah, so if you're paying for Facebook ads, make sure your content is good. Otherwise, it's just wasted money.
Yeah, it could even hurt your brand.
Right. No one wants to be known for annoying ads. All right, moving on from Facebook, let's talk Twitter.
Okay.
Vaynerchuk talks about Twitter's power for direct engagement. There's that great example, Green Mountain Coffee reaching out to an unhappy Starbucks customer.
Yeah, perfect example. Brands using Twitter to build relationships turn a negative into a positive.
Right.
They didn't ignore the complaint. They saw a chance to connect personally with a potential customer.
Yeah, and it worked. They listened, offered a solution, won them over with their sincerity.
Absolutely. And it's not just customer service. Twitter's great for thought leadership, community building, showing your brand's personality.
Right. And Vaynerchuk says the key is Twitty search. Find relevant conversations, jump in.
It's a goldmine. See what people care about, what they're talking about. And you jump in, show your expertise, add value, connect with people who are already interested.
It's about being a part of it, not just shouting into the void.
Exactly. You got to be active, engaged, responsive. Don't just schedule tweets and forget it. Check your notifications, reply to people, have real conversations.
So Twitter is about relationships, personality, providing value in 280 characters?
Yeah, that's it.
It's fast-paced, rewards wit, being real, keeping it short.
For sure. And a great way to stay on top of trends, connect with people who get you.
Now let's switch gears. A platform that's all about visuals and inspiration, Pinterest.
Oh, yeah, Pinterest.
Vaynerchuk talks about how Whole Foods uses it to tap into their audience's aspirations, their hot kitchens board.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Understanding what your audience wants, showing it visually. Whole Foods knows their people love beautiful, organized kitchens.
Right.
So they create this board, aspirational images, dream kitchens, fancy pantries, gourmet setups.
They're not just selling groceries, they're selling a lifestyle.
You got it. And it works on Pinterest. Users are looking for inspiration, ideas. They're making wish lists, planning projects, picturing their best life.
That's so true. And what's cool about Pinterest, you can follow boards, not just brands.
Right.
So businesses can show different sides of themselves, connect with more people.
Exactly. Like, let's say you're a clothing brand, right?
Yeah.
You could have a board for outfit ideas, one for, like, behind the scenes of the design studio, one showing your sustainability efforts.
That's smart.
Right. And because Pinterest is so visual, it's perfect for showcasing your brand's aesthetic, creating a strong visual identity.
Beautiful photos, nice graphics, color palette that matches your brand.
Exactly. And don't forget, Pinterest is all about, like, aspiration. What does your audience dream of? Show them that.
Okay, so let's talk about another visual platform, but in a different way, Instagram.
Right. Yeah.
Vaynerchuk really stresses understanding the Instagram aesthetic.
Right.
He contrasts Gansevoort Hotel, they did it right,
Okay.
and then Levi's, they kind of missed the mark.
Oh, interesting.
They used a generic stock photo.
Yeah.
It's like you can embrace the platform or totally miss it. Gansevoort Hotel, they got it. Playful, visual, all about Instagram.
Okay.
They had these creative photos, and to win a free night stay, users had to heart the photo.
Smart.
So it's interactive, engaging.
Totally. And it taps into that aspirational thing on Instagram, travel, luxury, escaping the everyday.
Makes sense.
And then there's Levi's, iconic brand, amazing imagery. They used a stock photo of jeans.
So basic.
It shows that even big brands can mess up. They thought their name was enough. But on Instagram, you got to constantly innovate, stand out.
Yeah, it's so fast-paced.
You have to understand the visual language, authenticity, and that it's a younger, visually driven audience.
You have to make it Instagram,
Yeah.
like Vaynerchuk says.
Exactly.
So think about composition, lighting, filters, all those little details that make a photo pop.
Yeah.
You got to embrace stories, reels, live video, make it dynamic.
All right, let's move on. A platform with a unique culture connected to a younger, artistic crowd Tumblr.
Okay.
Vaynerchuk compares comedian Neil Brennan, who nailed it, to Smirnoff, who, well, didn't.
Interesting.
Shows how knowing your audience and the platform can make or break you.
Yeah.
So, Neil Brennan, he's got a specific sense of humor. He used Tumblr to connect with people who got it, created content that fit the platform, short text posts, GIFs, quirky visuals.
He knew his niche.
Exactly. Smirnoff, they just try to force their brand on there. No understanding of the culture, the users.
They felt out of place.
Totally. You can't just slap your logo on something and expect it to go viral. Know the platform, the people, the content.
Be willing to experiment, try new things.
Absolutely. Tumblr loves creativity, authenticity, pushing the boundaries. Yeah. If that's not you, go somewhere else.
Makes sense. Now let's talk about two platforms that were huge when Vaynerchuk wrote the book. But they're, well, not so huge now.
Yeah.
Google Plus and Vine.
Right.
It shows how fast things change.
It really does.
Google Plus was going to be the Facebook killer. Vine, with those 6-second loops, everyone was obsessed for a minute.
Yeah.
Vaynerchuk saw potential, the social features of Google Plus short-form video on Vine.
Interesting.
It's crazy to look back. Google Plus didn't take off, shut down.
Yeah.
Vine, even with its popularity, couldn't keep up, shut down.
Wow.
But Vaynerchuk's principles, still relevant. Understanding your audience, engaging content, adapting to new tech, timeless lessons.
Absolutely. And even more important today, social media is always changing. New platforms, new features all the time.
So even though Google Plus and Vine are gone, what Vaynerchuk said about them, it can help us with newer platforms.
Right, like TikTok or Clubhouse. It's about being adaptable, open to new ideas, always learning.
Which brings us to Vaynerchuk's prediction, brands becoming media companies.
It's a big idea. And we're already starting to see it.
Yeah.
Brands like Red Bull making their own content studios, producing amazing videos, articles, rivaling traditional media.
So what do you think that world looks like?
I don't know.
Like, will we watch Nike TV for sports news? Read the Amtrak travel guide for vacation ideas?
It could happen. As brands control their content more, they could become powerful media forces.
It makes you think, what happens to traditional media companies then?
Right.
And what about the relationship between brands and consumers?
Will brands earn our trust, be seen as legitimate sources of news and entertainment?
Right. And how will this change how we consume information?
It's a tricky question. No easy answers.
Yeah.
But every brand needs to think about it.
Social media is always changing. That's clear from Vaynerchuk's book. But one thing stays the same: providing value, building relationships, telling stories that connect with people.
Yeah, if you can do that, you're set up for success no matter what comes next.
Okay, let's take a quick.
Yeah. So much we can talk about with this stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing how, like, simple concepts can be so powerful when you actually use them strategically.
It's true.
Vaynerchuk kind of gives us the cheat codes for social media, right?
He really does. And one of the keys is figuring out this whole jab, 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 right hook thing.
Yeah.
It's not just random posting. It's about, like, a plan where each piece leads to the next, to that final conversion.
So how do we actually do that? What's a good jab even look like? And how do we make sure those right hooks land without being too salesy?
Right. Well, first, you got to know your goals. What are you trying to do with social media? Brand awareness, website traffic, leads, sales. What is it?
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. Once you know that, you can, like, tailor your content to hit those goals.
Exactly. And remember, those jabs, valuable content, entertain, educate, inspire your audience.
Right.
Think about what they care about, what their problems are, and how you can help.
So it's not just pushing your stuff. It's about genuinely helping them, building trust, becoming a thought leader.
Exactly. Think about it, behind-the-scenes stuff about your company,
Yeah.
user-generated content, how people are using your product,
Oh, yeah.
even just like thought-provoking questions to get conversations going.
I like that. User-generated content. It shows you're listening to people, you value their input.
It's so authentic, engaging, because it's real people who actually like your brand.
Okay, so what about those right hooks? How do we make sure those calls to action actually work without scaring people off?
Right. You got to be strategic when, how you introduce them. You spend all this time building trust with the jabs. Don't blow it by being pushy.
So no buy now buttons on every post.
No, no, no. Think about weaving those calls to action naturally into your content.
So, like, if you're sharing a blog post about how to choose running shoes,
Yeah,
at the end you could say, hey, come check out our selection.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or you're doing a contest on Instagram.
Yeah.
Following your account and tagging a friend could be how you enter.
So it's finding that sweet spot, helping people and promoting your business.
Right. And track your results.
Yeah.
See what's actually working. Use those analytics tools, which posts are getting engagement, driving traffic, leading to conversions.
It's like getting feedback, so you know what your audience likes and you can adjust your strategy.
Totally. Try different content, posting times, calls to action, see what sticks.
Okay, that makes sense. But Vaynerchuk's book is from a few years ago. Things change so fast in social media, right?
All the time. What worked 5 years ago might not work today. What works today might be old news tomorrow.
So you can't get stuck doing the same thing. Got to be open to new ideas, try new things, always be learning.
Yeah, read what the experts are saying, go to conferences, keep up with blogs and articles.
And, like, actually try stuff yourself.
Exactly. The more you learn, the more you try, the better you'll be at navigating this crazy world of social media.
Okay, so let's talk about what brands are doing wrong on social media. What are some common mistakes?
One of the biggest is thinking it's a one-way street. They just talk at people, no listening, no engagement.
Just shouting into the void.
It's about relationships, not broadcasting. It's two-way. You listen as much as you talk, and you're genuinely engaging.
Right. Another mistake I see is being too self-promotional. Oh, me, no, you.
Vaynerchuk talks about that, right? Help people build trust, then ask for something.
It's like walking into a party and immediately trying to sell something before even saying hi.
Awkward, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
People can spot that insincerity a mile away.
So focus on relationships, being helpful, entertaining, authentic.
The sales will come when people like you and trust you.
What about consistency? I feel like a lot of brands struggle with that. Posting randomly, disappearing for weeks.
Consistency is so important. If you want people to remember you, build a following, you got to show up regularly, provide value consistently.
It's like going to the gym. Once a month isn't going to do it.
Make it a habit, part of your routine.
Right.
Plan ahead, make a content calendar, schedule posts, make sure there's always good stuff coming out.
Another mistake is not tracking results, right? Posting blindly, no idea what's working.
It's like throwing darts in the dark. Maybe you'll hit something, but probably not.
Analytics tools can tell you so much about your audience, your reach, your engagement, your conversions.
Use them. track your progress, figure out what to improve, make decisions based on data, not guesses.
Okay, so let's switch it up. What are brands doing well on social media? What's impressing you?
I think the community building is really impressive.
Yeah, bringing people together around shared interests, passions.
Like Red Bull, GoPro, they've built these amazing communities around extreme sports and adventure.
Yeah.
It's not just selling, it's giving their audience a place to connect, share, inspire each other.
That's powerful. People feel like they belong, they're loyal. It's more than just buying a product.
Exactly. Another thing, brands are telling their stories better, more authentically, engagingly.
Less polished marketing, more behind-the-scenes real stuff.
Like Everlane, Warby Parker, they're great at this. They show their company culture, their values, their commitment to doing things right.
People want to support brands that match their own values.
Definitely. And brands are using social media to actually drive innovation. Listening to customers, getting feedback, creating new products based on that.
Yeah, like Lego, Starbucks, crowdsourcing ideas, getting feedback, involving customers in the process.
It's good for everyone. The brand gets valuable insights. The customer feels like they're part of something special.
Okay, so let's go back to Vaynerchuk's book. What are some of the big takeaways, things that really resonated with you?
I think one of the biggest is that social media is a long game. No quick wins, no overnight success.
Right.
It takes time, consistent effort, building relationships.
Be patient. Don't get up if you don't see results right away.
Exactly. Another key takeaway, content is king, but it's got to be native content, tailored to each platform, something your audience cares about.
So before you post anything, ask yourself, is this interesting, relevant, visually appealing? Will people actually stop scrolling for this?
Yeah, and if the answer is no, don't post it.
Engagement is key too, right? You can't just post and disappear.
No, you got to interact, respond to comments, join the conversation.
Social media is a two-way street.
Absolutely. So take some time each day to talk to your followers, answer questions, thank people for their comments, show them you're listening.
And of course, social media is constantly changing.
Always. What works today might not work tomorrow.
Gotta stay up to date, try new platforms, adjust your strategy as needed.
Be flexible because the social media world is always changing.
So let's give our listeners some specific things they can do to put this jab, 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 right hook thing into action.
All right. First, know your audience. Who are you talking to? What do they like? What are their problems? Where do they hang out online?
Once you know that, you can create content that speaks to them directly.
And remember, you don't have to appeal to everyone. Find your niche. Be the best resource for that specific group.
So we're talking about providing value, building relationships, telling stories. What does that actually look like?
Content that's helpful, entertaining, or inspiring. Engaging with your followers, responding to them, building a community.
Being real, transparent, showing the human side of your business.
Exactly. And remember, social media is a marathon, not a sprint.
Be patient, be consistent. Those results will come.
They will. One thing I love about Vaynerchuk, he emphasizes hard work. No shortcuts, no magic tricks.
Yeah.
He talks about documenting, not creating. Don't try to force viral moments. Capture the real stuff that's already happening.
Behind-the-scenes stories, customer testimonials, employee spotlights.
Show people the real you, the heart of your brand.
That's what people connect with, what builds trust and loyalty.
And that's what leads to real, lasting success.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Vaynerchuk's jab, jab, right hook strategy, understanding your audience, creating the right content. Now let's talk about some specific examples.
All right, let's get into it.
So we've really dug deep into this stuff. It's clear, social media marketing, it's always changing. What's the biggest thing our listeners should take away from all this? Trying to make sense of it all.
You know, I think the most important thing is remembering social media, it's about connection, like real people connecting. It's easy to get lost in the algorithms, the data, but don't forget the human part.
Vaynerchuk talks about that a lot.
He does.
He says social media isn't a megaphone, it's a telephone.
Right.
It's about talking with people, not at them.
Exactly. And those conversations, they gotta be real, authentic, valuable. It's not about tricking people into buying something. It's about building that trust, showing you're credible, being someone people actually rely on.
One thing that stuck with me, that idea of brands becoming media companies.
Yeah.
Pretty wild concept. What do you think about that?
It's interesting. We're already seeing it, right?
Yeah.
Brands like Red Bull, they're making their own content studios.
Right.
Producing high-quality videos, articles, like competing with traditional media.
Is that a good thing?
I don't know.
Like, could it make the media landscape more diverse, more dynamic? Or is it giving brands too much power, controlling what we see?
It could go either way. Could be more innovative content, brands investing in good storytelling.
Yeah.
But there's also the risk of them becoming too big, pushing out independent voices.
It makes you think about journalistic integrity, being transparent. If a brand's making something that looks like news, how do we know it's unbiased?
Right.
And how do we stop them from using their platform to push their own agenda
Right.
or silence people who disagree?
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's something we got to think
Uh,
about, especially as the lines blur between like real news and brand content.
Makes sense.
It shows how important it is to be media literate.
Yeah.
To know where your information is coming from, can you trust it?
We need strong ethics, rules in place to make sure brands are using their power responsibly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how it all unfolds.
Okay, so let's bring it back to our listener. What can they do, practically, to use what Vaynerchuk's saying?
First thing, know your audience. Who are you trying to reach? What do they like? What are their problems? Where do they spend their time online?
Once you know that, you can make content that really speaks to them.
Exactly. And remember, you don't have to be everything to everyone. Find your niche. Become the expert for those people.
Vaynerchuk talks about giving value, building relationships, telling stories that connect. What does that actually look like?
It means making stuff that's helpful, entertaining, inspiring.
Yeah.
It means talking to your followers, responding to them, creating a community.
Being real, being honest, showing the human side of your business.
And don't forget, social media is a marathon. Be patient, be consistent, the results will come.
I like how Vaynerchuk focuses on hard work. No shortcuts, no tricks.
Yeah.
You want to succeed on social media, got to put in the work.
He says document, don't create. Don't try to force things to go viral. Capture those real moments that are already happening.
Behind the scenes, customer stories, employee spotlights, things like that.
Let people see the real you, the heart of your brand.
That's what connects with people. That builds trust and loyalty.
And in the end, that's what makes you successful.
Well, that's our deep dive into Gary Vaynerchuk's jab, 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 right hook. We talked about the big ideas of social media marketing, understanding your audience, making the right content, telling stories, building a community. It's always changing out there, but remember to stick to your values, be flexible, and never stop learning. And most importantly, keep those jabs coming.